I'm Tia O'Brien. I want to tell you a story about my mysterious Turkish grandmother. Both of my Turkish grandparents were revolutionary journalists, but for some reason, history brushes over my grandmother, Sabiha Sertel, and relatives are afraid to talk about her. So I set out to find someone who could tell me what happened.
Halkın elinden alınamayacağını gösterdiği...
John Dündar knows many answers. He's a well-known Turkish journalist in exile. Dündar recalls a day 77 years ago that sealed Sabiha's fate. The government orchestrated this mob to destroy my grandparents' newspaper because of what they wrote.
I know very well that what happened on that day changed the Turkey's destiny.
To learn more, I visit the Sertel's old colleagues, but my grandmother doesn't come to life until I have her memoir translated into English. Like a novel becomes the struggle for modern Turkey. I discover that Sabiha is born into revolution here in Salonika. As the Ottoman Empire crumbles, rebels plot an independent, secular Turkey. She's surrounded by exciting change, but in her own home, her father terrorizes her mother.
I was on the sofa, trembling like a bird. My father grabbed a chair and stormed at my mother. I was crying. I heard my father's voice. "You are hereby divorced. I divorce you. Take me with you," I begged. "Don't leave me here."
Sabiha credits that violent divorce with transforming her into a feminist at just 8.
It had always been a dream of mine to obtain a higher education.
Sabiha lives that dream in 1919 at Columbia University in New York City. She's on scholarships with her husband, Zakaria Sertel, an up-and-coming publisher, and her 2-year-old daughter, my mom. They're charged with bringing back cutting-edge ideas for a new Turkish republic. It's at Columbia that Sabiha discovers the red-hot theory of socialism. She learns that women's rights are a part of a class struggle for workers' rights.
My worldview shifted again. Woman and Socialism became a defining book for me.
Her degree is in social work, and she plunges into helping Turkish immigrants in the tenements. Friends warn that men will never accept her.
They don't like intellectuals. It's even worse that you're a woman. Still, I didn't pay heed to those objections.
Back home, the Sertels shake up journalism with this American-style magazine, Resimliai. It's packed with pictures to interest the illiterate in reading and democracy. Inside, the articles are just as provocative. Within months, Zakaria is imprisoned, and Sabiha steps in to save the publication, but she's torn as a working mother.
I left the house at 8 in the morning. I didn't even see my children's faces, except on Sundays.
She's calling for things such as maternity leave, the right to an abortion, all of the things that would allow women to actually use the political rights that they were granted.
Resimliai pushes so hard for political change that its backers pull out and it shuts down in 1931. But that's not the end. The Sertels don't back down. Their new newspaper, Tan, takes on Hitler. Front pages warn about the threat from Nazis while most of Europe is in denial.
Sabiha was viewed as the most vociferous advocate of, anti-Nazism, anti-fascism within Tan's roster of writers. And as a co-editor of the magazine, she carried a lot of weight.
Hitler's aide, Goebbels, is so enraged that he threatens to cut out Sabiha's tongue. The Turkish government also isn't happy. It fears that Tan will jeopardize its friendly relations with Germany. Then suddenly, Ataturk's death upends Turkish politics.
Among the scenes I witnessed from the minaret that day was the sight of people standing on their balconies, peering out of their windows, perched on top of the walls. These sobs never let up. An entire nation wept.
Tomorrow, Tuesday, will be treated as Victory in Europe Day.
Democracy's triumph in World War II emboldens my grandparents. Zakaria is almost 90 when he recalls what happened.
We were writing articles in the paper, demanding the abolition of the single-party, single-leader system, and requesting that dictatorship should be put an end to.
The government uses a competing newspaper to incite a riot against my grandparents. The headline, "Rise up, O people."
Slogans such as "Down with Communism," "Send commies to Moscow." That's what could be heard from a distance.
What's interesting is that when the whole thing was over, when these people should have been arrested, they came and arrested us instead.
My grandparents are imprisoned. Their trial is packed with outraged supporters. Although their conviction is overturned, they can't work.
We were under constant surveillance day and night.
One of the most memorable passages in the book is when Sabiha wrote, "They couldn't win the debate, so they're destroying newspapers, even trying to kill their owners. Where was the democracy they'd promised?"
We couldn't take it anymore. We left the country, and we couldn't come back again.
As the plane takes off, I watch Istanbul through the round window. Yeşilköy, the minarets, the houses, one by one they fall away.
Sabiha is never allowed back. I meet her just once when I'm 3 at a family reunion. My grandparents rented a villa in Vienna that summer, but they really were living in Soviet-controlled East Germany. Even in exile, my grandparents continued their fight.
Seni konuşturayım biraz olur mu?
Over 50 years later, John Dündar is in exile too. He also continues his fight for democracy and a free press.
I really feel that we are representing Sertel's struggle. You can put a mark to history, give them a space to express themselves, defend democracy.
When I started out, I worried that Sabiha had somehow caused my grandparents' tragic ending. But the truth is, they were partners in their struggle. Sabiha was targeted, though. She was a powerful woman, and like all true revolutionaries, she was just too far ahead of her time.